any travel plans for the upcoming holidays, there is one thing you should definitely not do. The one thing you should definitely not do while traveling abroad is visiting an orphanage. Visiting orphanages by tourists is what we call orphanage tourism, or in other words, orphanages being used as tourist attractions. And this is something that we need to stop. Why? Because children in orphanages are not tourist attractions. They're vulnerable children that we need to protect. Maybe you're now thinking, gosh, Monique, do you really think we don't know by now? You're already talking about the topic for so many years. Do you really think our young people don't know that they should not visit an orphanage when they're spending so much time on social media and the internet? Well, the answer is, I think they don't know. Because recently I got informed about a fundraiser of a young Dutch girl who does an internship in a hospital in Arusha, Tanzania, and she started a fundraiser for an orphanage. Apparently, she visited that orphanage and then saw that the fence was unsafe, that the kids had no toys to play with, and even worse, that sometimes there was not enough food and there weren't enough warm clothes for the children. So she started a fundraiser, and with that money, she wanted to repair the fence and buy some toys for the kids. But when I Googled that orphanage, I saw that so many organizations around the world support that orphanage. Either they have supported it or are still supporting it. So then you have to wonder, when so many people are involved in this orphanage, why is the fence unsafe? Why don't the children have toys to play with? And worst of all, why is there not enough food or warm clothes for the children? On another fundraise page from another girl for the same orphanage, I could see that she said, there are many orphanages in Tanzania, but not all receive support, and this one did not. Well, again, Google tells me another story. But let me tell you the story of research. In 2018, a situational analysis was done on children living in residential care in Tanzania mainland. And that situational analysis showed that the number of orphanages in Tanzania had increased between 2011 and 2018 with 23%. But more remarkable was that in the region Arusha, the number had increased with 123%, from 39 to 87. And that outcome was very remarkable because, amongst others, Arusha is not in the top 10 of regions with the highest number of orphans, but the region with the highest number of orphanages. And that's weird. So the researchers did some more investigation, they talked to local leaders, and apparently the high tourist activities in that region could easily be associated with that increase. And that makes sense, because Arusha is one of the leading tourist destinations in Tanzania. From Arusha, you can easily visit Mount Kilimanjaro or the many beautiful national parks Tanzania has. But that's not the only thing that tourists come to do in Tanzania. On their itinerary is also that they are going to visit an orphanage. And then when they visit these orphanages, they probably tell them either these children have no parents, or when they do have parents, that these parents are too poor to take care of their children. Well, let's have a deeper look at argument number one. Research has shown that more than 80% of all children worldwide growing up in an orphanage have at least one living parent or other family members who could take care of them given the right support. And argument number two, when they do have parents but they're too poor, then we have to ask ourselves that question: what do these families need to take care of their children? Because don't you think that these children need their parents too? And when these tourists see these children, of course, they donate money, they donate clothes or other materials. And when they go home, they even start a fundraiser to get that orphanage more money so they can support the children. And of course, they will interact with the children. They will play with them, they hug them, they tell them they like them, then they make selfies with them, and then they post them online. But these tourists are strangers, and these are vulnerable children that we need to protect, offline and online, because children in orphanages are not tourist attractions. Without a doubt, these tourists have the best intentions. How do I know? I was one of them. I was a tourist when I worked as a physiotherapist in Tanzania. They brought me to an orphanage. And because of that, I started to fundraise for that orphanage, and I even started to volunteer. So I know that we all do this with the best intention. But it is not enough to be well-intentioned. We need to be well-informed. More than 60 years of research has shown the negative effects on children of growing up in an institution. Children thrive better in safe and loving families. Therefore, we have to redirect our focus, energy, and resources away from institutional care towards a family-based care approach. Maybe you're still not completely convinced. If not, I'd like to point out to you this little booklet by the Better Care Network Netherlands. And it gives you the latest inside information why children belong in families. And I was asked to write the preface, where you can read more about my personal story. So do check the description below to see how you can get a free copy for yourself. If you do agree with me, please help me to raise awareness that we need to stop orphanage tourism and that we need to bring these children into families. Children thrive better in safe and loving families. Help me to share the message. How can you help me? You can easily help me by liking and sharing this video. And also, if you feel like it, leave a comment below. And don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel. Together, we're stronger in raising awareness that we need to stop orphanage tourism. And together we can raise awareness that children belong in families. Thank you.